I've got more snow showers in the forecast, and though temperatures are already cold this weekend, believe it or not, it looks like it'll be even colder next week.
A violent night in Spokane with 2 drive-by shootings in less than an hour, one of them fatal. What we know at this hour. Plus, they fled the war in Ukraine. Now they're trying to put their lives back together in the inland Northwest. This family's story tonight. Thanks for making KREM2 News at 6 a part of your weekend. I'm Cody Proctor. Well, just when you thought that spring weather was here to stay, winter weather just sneaks right back into the forecast. Let's start things off with meteorologist Michelle Boss for a look at what else to expect as we head into this week, the rest of the weekend. Michelle.
Well, it's been really interesting. More people have been talking about the wind than they have about the cold, both quite different than what we might want for April, but we're still dealing with the wind today. A little bit less wind than we saw yesterday. We still had a gust up near 40 miles per hour earlier this afternoon, but those sustained winds are finally starting to come down just a little bit, between 15 and 20 miles per hour right now. We're seeing gusts generally under 30 miles per hour. Tomorrow should be a less windy day, but guess what? The wind's going to be coming back on Monday. As far as precipitation is concerned, we've had some scattered light showers across the inland Northwest. A lot of that has been in the form of graupel. So we're seeing some graupel, some snow and light rain showers. Nothing terribly heavy out there, but in the mountains, it's a different story. Winter weather advisory has been extended for the Cascade Passes, including Snoqualmie and Stevens, until 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon for an additional 5 to 7 inches of snow. Snow is expected across the Blues as well, 4 to 10 inches of snow through tomorrow afternoon. Temperature-wise, of course, much colder than yesterday. We're sitting at 44 in Spokane. It's already down into the 30s in Sandpoint, a little bit milder out in central Washington. Around 50 degrees in Moses Lake and just under 50 in Lewiston. Here's a look at the next 12 hours. Partly cloudy skies. The showers should die down this evening, but it is going to be chilly as we drop down into the upper 20s tonight, and we'll be seeing similarly cold weather over the next several days. The coldest temperatures are yet to come early next week.
Michelle, thank you so much. And taking a live look at Interstate 90 at Snoqualmie Pass, it has been snowing up in the Cascade Mountains, leading to dangerous conditions for drivers. Right now on Snoqualmie Pass, according to the Washington State Department of Transportation, the westbound lane is currently closed due to multiple crashes on the roadway. According to WSDOT, for the eastbound lanes, traction tires are required. Chains are required on vehicles over 10,000 gross vehicle weight. Oversized vehicles are prohibited. You can see some of that winter weather right there. They've been seeing snow and slush on the roads. At this time, there is no estimated time on when the westbound lane is expected to reopen. Spokane police responded to 2 drive-by shootings in less than an hour last night. The first happened in North Spokane, sending 1 person to the hospital. The second shooting, this time outside of Lucky's Irish Pub in downtown, killed 2 people and left 1 in serious condition. So here's what we know tonight. The Lucky's Pub shooting took place around 1:30 this morning. According to Spokane police, 3 people, a man and a woman standing outside of the bar and a taxi driver waiting in her car east of the bar, were shot. Spokane police say the gunfire came from a single car. The Washington State Patrol pulled over a vehicle matching the description not long after and arrested the driver. We know 1 person's in custody, charged with 3 counts of drive-by shooting. The surviving victim is in stable but serious condition at an area hospital. The other shooting took place less than an hour before in North Spokane. Spokane police say a woman called dispatch saying her friend had been shot outside of a home on the 2900 block of Queen Avenue. Officers found a man who had been shot twice. The suspect had fled the scene. According to SPD, the victim and the witness knew the shooter. Soon after, police arrested 36-year-old Dan Utter, who's been booked for first-degree assault. They also found a gun and took his car into evidence. The victim from this shooting is in serious but stable condition. And now to be clear, these 2 shootings are unrelated, according to Spokane police. But they do come after 4 other drive-by shootings in the past week. Numbers also showing an increase in drive-bys compared to last year. Data from the Spokane Police Department shows a total of 40 shootings in Spokane so far this year. This total does not reflect the 6 recent shootings. In the same time frame last year, Spokane had 34 total shootings, making this a nearly 18% increase. KREM2 spoke with Spokane police earlier this week, and they say they're worried it could get worse if Spokane doesn't take a stand.
At the current pace, we will we will surpass 2021. So that's clearly alarming for everybody. That's alarming for us. We have amazingly talented detectives and investigators, but ultimately these investigations aren't magic. We need people to talk to us and provide us information.
Witnesses to violent crimes or gang activity are encouraged to do the following: report to Crime Check or the Safe Streets Task Force, as well as share photos and video, including security footage, if and when it's safe to do so. SPD says most of these shootings are not random and happen across Spokane. The month of April is Distracted Driving Awareness Month. New research from AAA Washington reveals more drivers are choosing to put their phones down while driving. AAA says distracted drivers are involved in at least a quarter of fatal crashes in Washington state. The same survey shows children and passengers in the car are the main motivators for people to drive distraction-free. Since launching this awareness campaign 3 years ago, AAA team members say they believe the messaging is working.
I think it's been clear through the kinds of injuries and deaths that are being created that the seriousness rises to the same level as drinking and driving. However, I think we're still working to make it as socially unacceptable as drinking and driving. And you know, that's a tall hill to climb.
According to the Washington State Department of Transportation, there were more than 18,000 distracted driving crashes last year. 92 of them were deadly. Over 50 people killed at a train station in eastern Ukraine after a Russian missile attack destroyed one of the last remaining ways to get out of the country. The attack comes as people were trying to leave that part of the country, with Russia turning its attention to the eastern part of Ukraine. Ukraine's president is asking for a firm global response to the train station attack, calling it another Russian war crime. And according to a UN report, 4.5 million people have fled Ukraine, escaping Russian violence. And some of those refugees are now here in the Lilac City to start recovering from what they left behind. KREM2's Janelle Finch spoke with a Ukrainian family who fled their country and are now looking for safety in Spokane. She joins us now in the studio. Janelle.
Maxim Sherbina and his wife Ilina fled Ukraine with their 2 children at the start of the war. Since then, the family has been to neighboring countries in Europe, Finland, and Mexico before arriving in Spokane April 1st. I sat down with the couple to talk about the home they've left behind and their hopes for the future. Maxim says leaving at the start of the war, his family was spared of seeing their country bombed and destroyed.
На самом деле, опять-таки, нам очень повезло.
We actually got lucky.
Мы не увидели много каких-то...
We didn't see a whole lot of stuff that you see now on TV because they took off early. Day one, they started traveling, so they got lucky that they didn't see dead bodies all over the place.
And their travels led them to Spokane. Maxim has family here, but Ilina had to leave behind her mother, father, and siblings in Ukraine. Maxim says the last few weeks have been hard, but volunteers in the countries they visited have helped ease the transition.
It's not easy, but но при помощи волонтеров.
A lot of volunteers it made it a whole lot easier than it could have been.
Spokane Helps Ukraine is an organization of local Ukrainians and volunteers. It has helped raise over $50,000 in donations for Ukraine. The organization has also provided clothing and other essential items for those who weren't able to bring much with them as they fled the country. According to the United Nations, 4.3 million children have left Ukraine. Among them are Maxim's and his wife's 1-year-old and 3-year-old children. Despite being only 3, they say their oldest is already asking when they'll be able to return.
Но когда уже
older son started asking questions when we're gonna go back home.
A question Maxim and Ilina say is hard to answer, because even if they can go back, it may not be the home they once knew.
Если закончится война, может быть, мы и вернемся.
If war will end soon, there is a chance that they will go back.
И если будет куда возвращаться.
If there will be a place where to go to.
Maxim and Ilina were given permission to stay in the States for at least 1 year. If the war continues, they'll see if they can try and extend their stay. In the studio, Janelle Finch, KREM2 News.
Janelle, thank you so much. And still to come on KREM2 News, a deadly mushroom discovered in Idaho. What we know about the death cap mushroom and how it got there next.